That's the sound of my stomach.
Now who's gonna start off?
Welcome to episode 11 of CTTV. We have Ty again today.
Woo. Hello.
And
He's here. He's gonna take over for Nate's spot
pussy.
once again.
We
Yep.
just celebrated
This is the last time you'll hear me for like the next hour.
our 10 episode anniversary, so we're really pumped up to keep going.
Yeah, my dick is so hard right now.
3 digits is only 10 times the length we've been recording this away.
Yes. Also, my brother is in the room, but he's doing homework.
Say hi, Jack.
Fuck him.
Jack, say hey.
There he is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
He
about.
just got his little
He got his
little
5
noise.
seconds of
I meant
He got his little caveman grunting. Now he's gonna go
Yeah.
back.
10 times
I wonder if
the
we
amount
can.
of time we spent.
Oh, he's coming over now.
Oh, he's coming over.
Get the fuck out of here. I'll kill you.
I wonder if we can
For
go.
legal reasons, that was a joke.
Fuck you. I wonder if we can ever go a full episode without talking about penises.
No.
No.
That's
Well,
not
Pretty sure it's already been done before.
Yeah.
Oh, true? I doubt that.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
break that
you would
streak
know if
right
you
now.
listened to
God, my dick is so hard. From
You just-
episode
Yeah, no,
10. I'm a full.
Gage
chub
has
right
already mentioned that he is hard. So
now. I'm
Not
chubbed the
surprised.
fuck up from episode 10. Love the anniversary.
that was a good episode.
Who else here is chubbed up right now?
Gage, I am thigh to thigh to you right now because this couch is too small.
I was chubbed up
Please.
earlier, but I already jacked
That doesn't
up
mean you
times.
can't be chubbed up right now.
No.
Dane, I'm gonna take a glance over, and if I see a chub, I'm gonna have to persecute you. You're covering your hand. You're covering your.
I'm gonna have to
crotch.
Hey,
persecute
hey,
you with a
hands up.
blowjob.
All right, no chub. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
I'm the only one that can be chubbed right now because
All my blood is in my brain because we're thinking about the podcast, you know?
yeah,
Steve is in Smash
It-
Bros.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He is.
I predicted this a year ago, by the way.
yeah. Israel was talking about it for a long while. I'll be like, man, this wouldn't it be so fucking funny but gay at the same time if Steve got into Smash?
I didn't say funny and gay. I said funny and awesome.
You said funny and gay.
No, I didn't, because I actually wanted
That's
Minecraft Steve
homophobic,
in the
Gage.
game.
Yeah, that's super homophobic.
Both you can lick my ass cheeks.
That's very homophobic.
But you can lick my ass cheeks for trying to slander me.
No,
Fuck you.
fuck you.
Wow.
Ty, you're not even an official guest. Eat my ball sack, dude.
Oh, he's an official guest.
Yeah, but Ty can back me up because he was there when I was saying it.
Yeah.
I don't give two shits, man. You can lick my balls.
Who else did you say? You said someone else too.
I predicted Piranha Plant also.
No, but you said someone else. I remember. There was
Goku.
another one.
No, I did not say Goku.
Goku's gonna be in Smash. I'm calling that now.
What did I say?
I know you said another person. I think you were. I think it was along the lines of, "I hope this person's in, but they probably won't be." I can't remember.
I think I said Minecraft Steve and probably... I mean, I don't really care about Crash or Spyro, but I think I would say something like that.
Crash.
Crash is probably gonna get in.
Yeah. Well, was he in the All-Star, like the PS3 ripoff of Smash Brothers? Was he in that?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
No, he wasn't. But he's having a
All-Stars.
new game come out, and I'm pretty sure it's coming out on the Switch.
Oh, really?
So there's a good.
Oh, no. My meme joke was like Minecraft Steve, which is what I wanted. And then I also said Soldier from TF2.
Oh yeah.
I want Soldier Boy in Smash.
I'll probably add like Master Chief.
I would actually really like Soldier in TF2, but it'll never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's like,
but you can get Soldier Boy.
yeah.
Make him crank that
No,
three
you
times
can't
left or right.
because he got sued by Nintendo. I don't think they're going to put him in the game. What if Nintendo just said, okay, Soldier Boy, you can make the Soldier game and sell our games on it, but we're putting Soldier Boy in Smash?
Soldier Boy has to choose between the option of being able to release a game console under his own name or being in Smash Brothers. Which do you think he'd choose? Which would you choose?
I'd much rather be in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I'd be in Smash too.
Yeah.
Stand on the Louis shoes.
I got the Louis shoes.
Hey, Soldier Boy in Dubai. I got a camel behind me scratching his neck.
Turn up.
Oh, I got the Louis shoe. Dirty, goddamn it!
Dude, Soldier Boy is he's only 30. I felt like he was way older than 30.
He started his career super young.
Yeah, he was like
I
17.
think that Soldier Boy came out when he was 17.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Soldier Boy up in this hoe at 17.
Watching Soldier Boy stream on Twitch is some of the funniest shit
Dude,
ever.
watching him play Among Us and he's like, "Hey, no, you suck. Hey, no. Hey, what is he yelling?" He just keeps on yelling like the same thing over and over. Some dude is like, "Hey, Soldier Boy's kind of sus."
He just gets fucking pissed the entire time. Like, anytime anyone mentions his name, he'd be like, "Hey, shut the fuck up, pussy."
Dude, I wish I was best friends with Soldier Boy.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I don't.
That would be
Okay,
so
you just
annoying.
made Dane racist. Good job.
Oh man,
Dane,
You're
yeah,
it's so
Dane's trying to make
incriminating.
You homophobic, Dane racist. What's your deal, dude?
what's it gonna do
Are
with?
you trying to make
I'm
me
just
ageist?
speaking facts right
Are you
now.
trying to make me ageist or something? I am not ageist.
Dane,
Yeah.
can you believe this kid? He's talking about ageist, like ageist towards kids, dude. You like to fuck kids? So you a pedophile,
Hey,
dude?
hey, you said that, not me. You said that, not
No,
me.
no, no. You said you're an ageist.
No, I said you're gonna try and make me an ageist, and look what you just
Look
fucking
what you
did.
just did.
You fell into my
putting
trap,
two and
bitch.
two-
Sit the fuck down.
No, you're
God
you're
damn
dumb.
it.
You're dumb. You're a fucking pedo. Shut up.
No,
Shut
no.
up.
You guys heard that. You know the facts.
Oh, this fucking retard over here.
All facts, no printer, bitch. I work at Office Max. Turn up.
You're a little.
Yeah, we
baby.
can turn
Shut
up,
up, sir. That wasn't even a good roast.
I get that paper, bitch.
Hey, we got $2
You
off.
also decided not to work for months at a time, so shut up,
Yeah,
puss
this
boy.
is true. This is
I
also
also
true.
did that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are babies. I stayed on my job.
I don't care, dude.
I value nothing you say.
Same.
Hey,
Ditto.
air high five, Israel.
Turn up.
Air high five. Air kiss.
There you go.
I intercepted.
It's okay because I love you too.
And just kinda
not as much.
Grab
yeah,
it.
Love
Yeah,
triangle.
Okay.
Pocket
Yeah, it's
it.
like a love triangle with like the one really fucked up corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the
Put
Down
that finger
syndrome
down,
corner.
Jack. That's messed up, bro. This is a kid show.
Jack's flipping us off right now.
looked
Jack, how old are you?
over at me with the most just.
Oh,
Jack is 17, going on 18 in January.
I am
Okay.
16.
In January, I can start making a lot funnier jokes.
Jack.
Jack,
bro.
don't be a pussy.
Jack's
I
social
probably-
is.
I forgot Jack can't hear me.
Jack's social is 615.
Maybe we
Five.
should stop there.
His eyes didn't get bigger, so that means that it wasn't actually.
Why should
I
we
don't think
sta-
Jack
I don't
knows.
think
his
Jack
social.
knows this.
Why are we gonna
social
stop
security
right there for
number.
listing off a fake social number?
Well, I don't know. In case there's someone's, it's probably someone's actual social, and then they're gonna be like, "Bro,
Okay, but you could literally
555
type, like,
5555.
anything, and it could
Oh,
be
no,
someone's-
so-
oh no." They
Apparently,
know my
socials
social
are
security number.
based off of like there's the year and month you were born in or something within that.
Bullshit. No.
No, there's not.
No, there is some kind of like method.
Mathematical equation.
Yeah, there is
Who
some
cares?
method.
Why
to
are we
the
talking
social.
about this? What the fuck?
Well, my point
Jeez, we weren't
was.
talking about anything else.
Yeah,
Why-
we weren't talking
my
about.
point
anything.
was-
Fuck
Social
off.
security numbers?
Yes. Okay. Well, here's the
dickhead.
thing. My point was Jack doesn't know his, but I was gonna back him up in saying that I didn't know mine until this year.
What?
Retard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like I never needed it.
I've had mine memorized for like the last 4 years.
Well, do you want a medal?
Dude, you want
Yeah.
you want the medal, bro?
I want a little kiss.
Well, you can get that too. Goddamn.
God damn, who the fuck keeps
Shut up
burping?
about
This
it.
shit stank.
Just clanking teeth together. Just
Dude, you ever clanked teeth? That shit hurted.
Dude, one time, because, you know, my kinks are quite rampant.
Okay.
But one time, I faked having a clinking my teeth against glass kink, and
What?
people believed me in our Discord.
I'm not surprised that they believed you.
Yeah.
Nate and I convinced Ty that there's a special sect of kinky people who like shoving lithium-ion batteries up their urethra.
Yeah, it's
Ty
called
believed
sounding.
us. No, but specifically lithium-ion batteries, and it would like zap you, and they'd be like, "Oh."
Ooh.
And we convinced Ty
I
that this is
don't
a real.
remember that.
Yo,
I
Ty,
remember.
wanna try
Yeah, of
it?
course you
I
don't
remember the sounding stuff. I don't remember the lithium ion.
We specifically said lithium-ion battery, specifically AAA, because you know. they're-
And then you were like, "Wait, seriously?" And we're like,
Dude,
"Yup."
got a 9 volt.
And we haven't mentioned it since till today.
You're so mean to me.
Can you
It was a
stop
good
burping in
meme.
this direction, you fuckward?
No.
He can
My
laugh
face
whenever he
is
wants.
pre-positioned here. I don't want to move it.
Yeah, but I
Just-
keep fucking smelling it. It keeps wafting over to our.
Smelling like a meaty pizza.
Yeah, that shit stank.
You stank.
I
bro.
request that you
Schmeedy
stop.
za.
Schmeedy.
Speaking of schmeat,
Hey,
there's a
you
lot
just
of
moved your
schmeat
face to the
packed on this
jack.
fucking couch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of schmeat.
It's hot in
'Cause
here.
I wanted to.
Should I take off my pants an hour later?
This is
Go
a
ahead, do it now.
this is a joke. Wait, what?
It was cold in
He's
here.
going down to his
10 minutes
underwear, bro.
ago,
Don't worry about
and
it.
now I'm
Oh,
sweating.
You
My-
almost took your underwear.
Yeah.
out.
I had the AC in this room for 3 hours.
You're getting kind of fat, man.
Yeah, well, you also have a giant.
And Nate, you're kind of obese, bro. You're kind of like massively obese. I bet your BMI is like 50.
Dane, what's your BMI?
Like I don't know.
I
haven't
don't
checked it
remember
since
being
junior year.
Yeah.
Their BMI.
Yeah. I mean I don't work out.
It'd be awesome if we had.
I
our
eat
BMI
like
on our
about
IDs.
averagely. Although I haven't eaten any fruit today.
bro.
Damn, you gonna die.
You
It was just today.
You have your BMI on your passport, and if you get to the airport and your BMI is slightly different, they're like, no, it's not you.
Yeah.
Dude, if you have above, I think it's if you have above a 38-inch waist in Japan, you get taxed. It's literally like a fat tax. If you're above the age of 40 and have a waist,
I thought it was above the age of like 20 something.
it's older. I thought it was younger, but it's older.
Maybe it's like 30.
Hey,
there's
retards,
some
you're
pretty
too
young
overweight. You need to stop, otherwise you're going to make you pay more money.
How do they figure that out?
Yearly physicals, yeah.
Yearly
Who's
physicals, they
out
make you
there
more.
hunting down fat people?
Japan isn't that big of a country, you know, and they're pretty easy to spot, you know.
Yeah, considering a majority of them are like pretty slim.
They're a healthy country.
Pretty twink set, honestly.
I mean, isn't largest life expectancy like Denmark and Japan?
Yeah, they live until like their 90s or something.
Surprised
Yeah.
one of the largest life expectancies in Denmark is, in Denmark, considering how many fucking cigarettes they smoke all the time.
Yeah, like
It's like
one of
you go
the
long life.
Dude, I bet you they're more healthy than the ones in America, though.
No,
Because I know in Europe they like roll their own.
I think less bad for you is
tobacco's
probably
super
the more
expensive.
appropriate
Well, we put a
term.
bunch of shit in ours that like makes it super addictive.
I was in there's actually a good story behind this. I was when I was in Wales, I was at a pub and there was like this really old, well, he was like in his 50s. He was like this 50-year-old Welsh dude rolling his own cigarettes. I was asking him about it and he said, "Oh yeah, you have to roll your own cigarettes here because it's way cheaper to roll your own. Like it's half the price to roll your own cigarettes than it is to buy, pre-rolled cigarettes." And people actually buy rollers for cigarettes, which, that's kind of based. I don't know. Anyways,
Get a cigarette making kit
just to make cigarettes, not to smoke them.
to sell them.
Oh, that. Ooh.
To sell them to
Anyway,
indie kids that
but-
are retarded.
Him making the cigarettes, like putting the tobacco in a line, rolling it up, licking the side, and then putting it back in the case for later. This is the action that he was doing. And then in Wales, everybody's asking me, like, what do you think of the political situation in America? So what is going on?
turn
Ty?
your fucking
Ty,
phone off.
seriously?
It's on my phone.
Whose phone was it?
It's not mine.
Is it Jack's phone?
Jesus.
Jack, bro.
Jack, bro.
Jack!
You're never invited back. All right, that was worth it.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, so they started asking me about politics, and the old guy is like, "What do you think of Donald Trump?" And my words verbatim are, "There's a lot to say about him," and he just goes, "I quite like Donald Trump," and he takes a long lick on his cigarette, and then just lights it. And the guy sitting next to me says, "Right, I'm gonna go get me a pint," and then gets up, and I don't see him for the rest of the night. So that was my experience.
Quite like Donald Trump.
Old Welsh man.
Oh, I think I just inhaled a pube.
How?
Why?
How did you inhale a pube?
I don't know, man. Shit happens.
Are you retarded? What's wrong with you?
Dude,
You okay?
How is there a
I am
close
retarded
enough to your face?
What's that?
You're not allowed to say that anymore.
Why not?
Fuck
I don't
you,
know.
retard.
You're retarded.
Apparently, you're just not allowed to say that.
I don't need your
Lick my
permission
balls,
to say
retard.
put up
Okay.
Latin X.
Here, is midget a bad word?
No.
Yes.
No.
Because it's only a bad word if there's history behind it,
Well, there's history behind everything, but
It's not a bad word. It's a description.
I feel
Yeah.
like it just depends on what people like to be.
Because I don't hear anybody being like, "Shut up, midget." Like it.
It depends
would be-
on how much of a pussy you are.
I would be more upset if someone called, if I was like, let's say I was 3'2". I'd be more upset if someone called me a dwarf or a little person.
I just want to be called a person. I feel like if I was.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but at the same time, people don't operate like that. You don't see the average crowd of people who are 5'10", and you see someone who's like fucking 2.5 feet shorter, and you look down and you're like, oh, look at that little
Inhuman.
guy down there.
Just called them inhuman.
Yeah, like I feel
Straight
like
up. Yeah, just cover all the bases.
Hey, look at the
feel like
Oompa Loompa down there.
I don't know. Honestly, I would have to talk. Well, also like Ty said, it's different for everyone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
for everyone. You'd have
Like-
to set boundaries with the people you're around.
Like
right?
some people just do not care what they're called.
Yeah, that's
But then other people really care.
Yeah.
It's just a case by case basis. Like you can't just be like, oh, don't say midget, don't say retarded.
Yeah,
It's like some people don't.
like just because I'm an
Yeah.
asshole on the podcast and I say words like retard doesn't mean I go around saying, hey, what's up, retard?
Yeah.
You a fucking loser. You...
do that.
No, I don't.
but we're gonna get you.
Oh, I do it to you because you are retarded.
Well,
Yeah, it's like
Ty's the
nobody's going
exception.
around calling people these words.
No, like those are words usually reserved for a friend group.
Yeah.
And guarantee you, 99%
Ty,
of people.
stop touching the thing with your toe.
Yeah, you fucking retard. Knock it
Make
off.
it background noise,
It's always
bro.
the people who overhear your group saying it,
Yeah.
trying to police what you say. It's never
Yeah.
people inside your group.
No,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Except Ty, apparently. Go fuck yourself, Brian White.
Joking around.
Don't care.
He's just joshing. He's
Just joking.
He's just yanking your
around.
chain. Joshing. Yo, Jack got the za.
You got more za.
I said I love you, good night, and then just ripped the fattest burp. Like, love you, good night. And then just hung up.
I thought you did that to my parents, and I was like, "Yo,
That's kind of
you're just taking my spot. What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
we
want
But Israel's right though. It is always the people who overhear your conversations. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some instances where maybe you could use a different word. You'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" and you just drop the N-bomb like right there. in
Dude, those
public.
people.
You might.
those people,
You could rethink a word you would want to use. But if I'm sitting with Israel and Dane and we're eating food out somewhere and I go, "Hey, retard, pass me the bowl," and someone hears me, they can go fuck themselves. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be called retard by my fellow
It's a
retard.
term of endearment.
Yeah.
If your
it's like-
friend hasn't called you retarded in the last month, you're
probably
probably
not
not
friends.
very good friends.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
not. Because you get
Unless you're a girl, because I don't think girls. I don't know. I'm not a
They
girl.
just call themselves slut and bitch.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
just yeah.
Skank asshole.
And then they say men can't use those words because it's specific. To
shut up,
Shut up, slut.
stupid broad. I can say whatever I like.
Dude, broad is the best.
Just a bunch of white men
Shut up,
telling women what
broad.
to do. This really looks good.
Hey, listen up.
This is a
Toots.
great look.
I was like just thinking about that. I was like,
All right,
Hey,
so the
we've
pants
become
are coming off.
We've become self-aware.
Ty is
so
technically
it's
not
all
white, and technically I'm Middle Eastern, so
and
it's just you
technically,
guys.
I'm everything.
Hey, man, for the next 5.5
Yeah.
months, I'm gonna be in a fucking sausage fest, so I don't give two shits.
Good. Yeah.
Watch,
but-
you're gonna run into you're gonna have a platoon of
Yeah,
35%
I'll have a fucking-
I
women.
can't believe that many people are gonna run a train on you.
I'll have a fucking female drill sergeant who watches this podcast.
that's always something I wondered because you know, like how Logic, his like mom is black and his dad's white.
He's biracial.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
Forget it.
I know, but like, what is?
good. We've already
He's
talked about that.
white,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but is he black too? Because he.
Yes, it's in the genetics. Are you dumb? I
Yeah,
just
but
said
like
that.
people wouldn't recognize him as being black. They would only see him as.
Yeah, that's why he
It's-
has to tell everybody.
at that
he's-
point-
I know, but is he allowed to say the N word then?
oh, I don't.
We've already talked about this. Yeah, how we described it was since he is leaving the rap game, or suppose I don't know. I've heard he might come back. I don't know.
He's just
should-
doing string.
He should
now.
stay out.
Yeah. But we said that he had to renew his N-word pass
He has to renew it.
with each album that he released. So eventually it will run out.
Yeah.
He won't have enough
Okay,
cred.
that's actually pretty funny.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I feel like
He can do whatever if people call him out on it, whatever. He can,
He's done it a few times in songs, anyways.
Yeah.
like
Who
if you're
cares if he says the N-word?
Yeah.
He still has way more money than any of us ever will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has screw you money. So
Yeah. Seriously.
yeah.
Oh no.
like- no,
All the people on Twitter are gonna say mean things.
At the end of the day,
Lose all his money somehow.
I don't care. Like if
Yeah.
he does or doesn't. I mean, if he feels it's okay, like, and if it's like, you know, not
So
part of his identity, but it's like,
He's literally black. Like it.
yeah,
he's black.
you know?
See,
He can say
The thing
it.
is he doesn't care, and I can guarantee you, 99% of people who are getting upset about it, they don't actually care either, and it won't affect them. Like, let the black community decide whether or not they get upset. By it.
Yeah,
You sitting there as a 14-year-old white girl on your Twitter post, getting upset for people who you've never met and likely never will. You are not special, and you are not having a unique thought in any way.
yeah.
Me every day. No one is special.
Yeah.
I think that,
I
but
am
less like nihilistically.
anytime I see any criticism on any topic coming from like any person who is under the age of 18, I automatically do not care.
Yeah,
Because despite us only being like, 19, 20, you do a lot of maturing in those 3 years. Anyone who is usually under the age of 18 and even up to 17, your takes are fucking terrible.
you just don't know.
Yeah, even our take.
Our
We're gonna
take-
look back in like 5 years.
Our
and be like,
takes are
are
already-
garbage.
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna look back at our takes from 5 years from now, and we're gonna say, haha, based.
Yeah. Like I can speak with self-awareness right now. I know my takes are fucking dog shit.
Oh, yeah.
But my takes when I was 16 were 1,000 times worse.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, here's the good thing is that we can look back and be like, man, that was dumb.
That means we're improving.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we
that's
look
the
back
thing.
and say, yeah, we were a smart bunch of kids, that
That's
means we're retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
tying
when I
back
was
to that
16, I still thought 9/11 jokes were funny. Looking back now, I'm like, wow, that's tacky and gay.
Yeah, it's not even like Okay, this is gonna sound bad. It's not that I feel bad about these jokes. It's like it's just not.
They're not funny anymore. Yeah.
It's just
Right.
tacky.
When we were in high school, the common edgy joke was just saying the N-word.
Yeah.
I was doing PE or whatever, and then this kid that all of us know for being a shithead shit starter just yells the N-word out loud on the blacktop.
Yeah.
It's like, did you get any laughs from that?
No, you just got a lot of confused looks, but that's what they want. Is like, just
They want it's because they want attention.
I feel like
Yeah.
up until your late teens, you really have a lot of maturing to do when it comes to comedy. Like you still don't know what sticks and like.
Look.
You can throw shit out, but you don't know what's.
Can I say something about the N-word really quick?
sure.
Sure.
We can cut it out if it's too bad.
Oh no, it's not gonna be bad. I promise.
Okay, cool.
So, all the time, people get hacked on Twitter and shit, and whenever they're hacked, immediately the hackers always just tweet racist shit like the N-word, whatever.
Yeah.
They are such fucking losers. It would be so much funnier if they hacked Jeff Bezos and then posted, just took a fat shit in my pants right now.
Yeah.
Like that's way funny. You got to be creative with it.
Just
Yeah,
a little
no.
bit.
I
Just a
would
little
want to
bit.
cause mass hysteria and be like, everything on Amazon right now is 40% off, and then everybody be like, woo.
Yeah, no, like if I were to hack a big time CEO's corporation, like let's say I'm Bill Gates, right? I'm a hack Bill Gates' Twitter. I wouldn't put out some shit like, "Oh, kill all minorities." I'd be like, "No, guys, little did you know, I have a 2-inch micro penis. DM me for a picture."
Or, tweeting from what Jack from Twitter saying, just walked down in the grocery outlet, whatever, picked up a sandwich, took it back home, and then just fucked it. Like that would be infinitely funnier.
That'd be so much fun,
Dude,
Then just
the screenshot of that tweet would never die. Like
No.
that would be one of those memes that lasted forever because people would be like, "This really happened,"
Yeah, no, it would be hilarious. But
even if it was a
if
hack.
a lot of them, the hacks are just racist comment,
follow my Discord.
Yeah, no, that happened too.
and it's like they're just not funny. I mean, they might be funny to 14-year-olds, but
Just
as
that
yeah.
ham sandwich really caught my
I think-
eye, and I
I
had to
think
take
this-
it back home and fuck it.
yeah,
It's like the chicken sandwich, make chicken all over again.
it's like the McChicken all over.
Which was another joke that was when we were like 16.
I still think that
I
joke
never
is funny.
understood the McChicken.
It's pretty simple.
I liked the McChicken. Like, I could get the McChicken all the time. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, you come in that sandwich, bro?
For anyone who
Yeah.
doesn't know what we're talking about, welcome to the internet, Grandpa. But second,
I don't know. Both of my brothers probably don't know about the McChicken.
well, I'm
You
gonna
had to.
I'm gonna tell them what it is right now.
Yeah.
So the McChicken is an infamous video where it's just a black dude who is railing the shit out of a McChicken.
It was a Vine, I think. So it's only about 6 seconds.
I don't know what it was from, but it's a really short clip. It's like 5 or 6 seconds, but it's just a dude with 2 McChicken buns filled with mayonnaise, just rubbing it across his dick super fast, like back and forth. And there's visceral sounds where it's,
And that's it. That's the video.
that's the entire video, and it's like 6 seconds long.
So yeah, if you hear somebody say like, "Oh, the McChicken," there
Whoa,
you go,
bro, you want some cum with that McChicken? Yeah, sure.
dude.
I ordered a McChicken, not a McCum.
I've got some. Dude, McDonald's. People say, "Ooh, McDonald's it's the worst, bro. I hate McDonald's."
Fuck Arby's. Arby's is the worst.
No, McDonald's is baseline. That is like
No.
I would
McDonald's is fucking awesome.
literally,
It's horrible for you.
I would
I've
literally
never-
get sounded for a 20-piece McNugget.
oh yeah, huh?
Like anyone can pick one thing from McDonald's and like it.
That's true.
That's
well,
true.
all of their desserts, awesome. The pies, the ice cream.
The soft serve, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always good.
Okay, story time about McDonald's fucking ice cream really quick. McDonald's desserts, whatever. So, Dane and I used to work right next to each other. And every once in a while,
Oh, the stupid.
Dane knows already.
I know exactly.
Every once in a while, we'd get off work and say, yo, McDonald's is right across the fucking street. Let's go get vanilla milkshakes. And we'd
Yeah.
get vanilla milkshakes.
Oh, is this Neapolitan shake shit?
And then one time,
Yes, yeah.
we're getting vanilla milkshakes, and Nate shows up, and he's like, no, check this out. And Nate orders a Neapolitan milkshake. And it is the vanilla strawberry and chocolate flavors all in one shake.
Which is
and it
what
was
Neapolitan
the
is.
fucking bomb.
It would taste like a chocolate dipped strawberry. It's so awesome.
And then every time after that, me and Dane were trying to order the Neapolitan. The one across the street from our work would every time say, we can't do that. We have no way to charge for 3 different flavors.
And we're just like, you just don't. You just charge
for
the
one.
and then
It's the same amount of ice cream.
yeah.
And then when we went to the other McDonald's that we got the Neapolitan at with Nate,
Yeah.
they would give us the Neapolitan.
Yeah, you'd ask for Neapolitan and they
gave
go,
it to
okay.
us. They gave us Neapolitan twice. One time it was fine. The second time they had the Shamrock, and we explicitly said no Shamrock, and they
Yeah.
still put the Shamrock in it. And then the time after that, that McDonald's started saying, "No, we don't do that. We can't do that for you."
It's probably
Ruined my life.
It's probably just different people not knowing.
It is.
Yeah, it's just different management. I was going to try it. We have a friend who works, I don't know, she still does, but
She quit.
Yeah, she quit a little bit ago.
good for her.
I caught her like the week.
Her brother still works there though.
Yeah, but you know, we'd go to the McDonald's by our work, and I was always hoping she'd be working because we could be like, yo, could you
it up.
please hook us up
Yeah.
with this Neapolitan shake? But she was never there after we were done working.
I will say with the Shamrock Shake though, I would suck the fattest dick on earth for a Shamrock Shake.
I know how to make them. Super easy.
Well, do you have the actual mix though that they use from the
It's like
It's
you're
a little
sucking Dane's
different.
because
dick, bro.
it's
Yeah,
a very
whoa.
special fucking
Yeah.
ingredient that they use.
The
And
Shamrock
Ty,
tastes like cum.
you're telling me you wouldn't suck a dick for the Shamrock Shake?
I think the Shamrock Shake's a bit overrated.
I don't like
Really?
it nearly as much as the vanilla or the Neapolitan.
Really?
One time I
I
got
like
a
the
chocolate
McRib.
shake.
The McRib is like any seasonal
That's
McDonald's.
not a
has.
dessert.
No, but as a seasonal item, like the
I've never had the McRib.
Shamrock Shake, McRib is pretty fucking good.
I don't know. I'm more of a Shamrock Shake guy, mainly because I'm more of just like a dairy type of guy.
Yeah, ice cream is my
Hey
favorite
Dan,
dessert.
what
Yeah.
are the odds that after this podcast we go to McDonald's and buy every single item?
So what are the odds that it's gonna be fucking open by?
Say 2, and if he uses the wrong one, he has to pay for all of it.
Say 2.
Oh,
So that's
Out of-
a
out of
McDonald's
what?
has a big menu.
out of what, Dan?
Out of what?
Yeah, like out of how many
That's a
numbers?
lot of money.
20.
20?
Oh, at least.
Okay, ready?
Fuck.
Shut up, guys.
Someone give us a countdown, please.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. You start. You do it on go.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
7.
Okay. I'm not buying it. We're chilling. Dude,
Almost shit my pants.
who was it? It was Israel said,
Yeah.
what are the odds that you analyze, to me, he said, what are the odds that you analyze every frame of the B movie? And I said 50. I chose what?
29. and I
29.
chose 30.
You chose 30.
Yeah, they were one off. Dane was this close to having to be up for about 15 hours.
I went pale.
Frame.
I was sweating. I was like, whoa.
He was kind of shaking after the whole.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I technically still have to fuck Dan.
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever lost.
Yeah.
What are the odds was...
So after this, you guys are gonna go to McDonald's, get some shakes, and then have
And just
hard,
fuck.
ravaged, butt slapping sex together.
Man.
Dan is.
In the wise words of Arrested Development, I have made a huge mistake.
You might even be able to hear the remnants of the ball slapping next episode.
It's gonna echo and reverberate throughout the garage.
It's going to echo, and
Gonna
the
echo for
energy
over a week.
will just reverberate throughout the entire world.
The entropy.
Yeah,
like,
you might be able to hear
sit
it in your
this
house.
room.
Yeah, there's the shot heard around the world before the Revolutionary War, and then there's the ball slap heard around the world. That
Yeah.
I can't talk.
Was the shot heard from around the world about the Revolutionary War, or was that Franz Ferdinand in World War One?
Yes, it was the Revolutionary War,
It's revolutionary.
Oh.
and then Paul Revere was like, "Redcoats
The British are coming.
The British are coming. What was
Best-
coming in my ass."
Boy, Franz Ferdinand.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
Homeboy.
Franz Ferdinand is my fucking dude.
You-
Love that guy.
He almost
Just
survived.
wanted to visit the cops in the hospital,
Yeah.
and then he died.
Because
Got his
his
ass
his
shot.
speech was bombed earlier that day or something.
No, they're like what's it called when cars follow each other?
Convoy.
A
Convoy.
convoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the police car behind him got grenaded,
Yeah.
and then
And then he gave a speech and was like, "I love the city, but this is ridiculous. Like, why do you guys do this to me?" And he was like one of the few people that actually was like, "Yo, I want to hear the white hand out or the black hand. Was it black or white?"
It was the Black Hand.
Okay.
But his whole thing was like, yo, Slavic rights, yo.
Yeah.
Which every other emperor said, no, fuck the Slavs.
Yeah.
And Franz Ferdinand, the only one who is advocating for the Slavs, comes down there and they shoot him in the
Gets
fucking
fucking
head.
capped
Gets
by a
killed by-
He
Serbian.
gets JFK'd before JFK.
He gets, not only does he get JFK before JFK, he gets JFK'd by a fucking Southern Slav. He gets JFK'd by a fucking
The worst
Serbian.
kind.
Yeah. The Southern Slavs are pretty
He had a
fucking
second.
terrible.
He was
but-
literally a second.
Eastern
chance.
Slavs are the based ones out here making trash bombs. What are the Southern Slavs doing? They're assassinating my homies, and I can't name anything else. Oh, and claiming to be Greek. What's up with that,
Oh, yeah.
Macedonia?
And ethnic cleansing Muslims out of Kosovo.
Oh yeah.
There was
That
kind of
was
that whole, remove kebab thing during the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But
That wasn't
Bosnia's
funny.
right there. Just put all the Muslims in Bosnia. They're already there.
well, a lot of Muslims move over to Albania.
Shelgon, Bosnia.
Bosnia.
I
I'm
know
Bosnian mode.
you know who would be a really interesting guest?
Franz Ferdinand.
A certain Jew we know.
When you word it like that, Nate.
I know. I right after I said it, I was like, that didn't sound right.
I don't want them on.
Okay,
Who are we thinking of?
I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay.
We do this every
To
time.
be fair, I'm not racist
With
or
a-
xenophobic.
I'm the only Jew that I know.
With a
in my
hoo-ha
life.
or without a hoo-ha?
Wait.
Nice.
Every
know-
other Jew
with a
I've met, I
I
don't.
know.
Okay.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, because I feel like it'd be. I'll stop talking.
Let's move on.
I'm not xenophobic.
That would be
I worded that very
Okay.
wrong.
That would be a
Nate,
good
that's
guess,
enough.
though.
Jew, I think, is the only adjective of a person's ethnicity that you can both use within the same sentence as an insult and just as an adjective.
The same class, or the same teacher who asked me about the Hitler skull question.
Yeah.
One time I walk into class, I think I went to the restroom or something because class had already started and I was walking into a full classroom and the whole room was silent. When I walk in there and the teacher says, Israel, would it be offensive for me to call you a Jew? I said, what? No, that's literally what I am.
And that's what you
It
call
depends
me.
on how you word it. I think it's a John Mulaney bit where he's like, oh, you can just call somebody a Jew. But if you go, oh, it's a Jew, like you just get, oh no, I think it was Louis C.K. But that slight like gutturalness
the
of it,
intonation of the way you say the word.
yeah,
It really changes it.
completely changed.
You're like, hey, it's a Jew, or be like, hey, it's a fucking Jew.
yeah,
it-
you don't even add any adjectives to it. It's literally just like, yeah.
You
Just say the word Jew.
Jew.
Yeah. Oh,
Jew.
There's a funny thing about, like those super hardcore Jewish people where they can only live within a certain, like,
Yeah, the Hasidic Jews.
yeah, they can only live within a certain radius of their church.
Yeah.
So they just all compile, like, into a small, like, if you go to LA, you've hit the Jewish neighborhood because that's all you see. It's just like the hats.
When we were
and
there,
the-
we
Jewish
drove
hood.
through it.
Yeah.
Remember, Dane? When
Yeah. We were over in, Fairfax, La Brea area, and there
Yeah.
was, they were all walking home from church on
Yeah.
Saturday.
You guys ever been through Amish country before?
I've never been in the
I
Midwest in that
There's
area.
a lot of Amish people in Illinois.
There's a shit ton of them back in Illinois.
Dude, I hate those people that take pictures of them because they're specifically like, please do not take pictures
Yeah,
of me.
no, they
It
don't-
steals a part of my soul.
Yeah.
You guys know about the
pretty fucked
the
up, but
Amish
also
holiday? It's called like, I'm pretty sure it's called like Rumstifer or something like that.
Rumpelstiltskin?
No.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like basically it's a day where when they turn certain age, they are allowed to leave like their town or their house,
Right, yeah.
and they are allowed to indulge in anything they want.
I think they're given like a year or 2 years, and then they either can come back or not.
Yeah.
But like if
Most
they
of the time they come back.
Yeah.
yeah, because if they don't have nothing else to go to.
It's essentially the allegory of the cave where it's like, this is the life that you know. You may not want to leave it, even though it's technically
Yeah.
better, quote unquote, but
well, you know
that's
nothing else.
objective.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure with a lot of Amish families too, if you choose to leave the Amish community, they will not talk to you after.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they excommunicate
Yeah,
you.
you completely.
It's like Scientology.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
kind of
except they don't hunt you down
Yeah.
and sue the fuck
Yeah.
out of you.
Yeah, the Jewish people, it's just kind of like, or not Jewish, Amish. The Amish people, they're not technically like, we hate you now. It's just kind of like, this is the path that you've chosen.
Well, they basically are like, oh, you're going to hell. That's what
Yeah.
they believe.
it's kind of a double-edged sword.
That's so
Because
fucked up.
you get the choice. Of
A lot
being
of
able to
religions
live
are
a
like
free
that.
life. You get to live life however you want to, and you get to experience whatever you like to without any worries. But at the same time, you lose communication with your family. And your
They
community.
basically say you're allowed to experience this sin-filled earth for a year, but if you like that sin too much, Stay the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was? Do you guys know the religion that was in Japan before Buddhism came to Japan? Isn't it called like Shintoism or something?
Shintoism is the type of Buddhism. It kind of mixed with the religion.
What's
before.
the original?
I can't remember what it's like actually called, but I'm pretty sure before Buddhism it was all kami,
Yeah, it was about kami.
and that's spelled Kami, not the gross kind like red people. But so the kami were they just had gods for literally everything.
Yeah.
Literally
Like
everything.
inanimate objects.
They said like this is the god for passing through gates. This is the god for not wheat, but whatever crop they had.
Rice.
I don't think it was rice. Like
They probably had one
They
for
they definitely had one for rice, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a specific example from
Barley,
my Asian art
maybe?
history class. I
Maybe,
don't remember.
who knows?
Doesn't matter. But what they would do is when they took over like neighboring provinces, they'd take their gods.
Really?
Yeah, the Romans did it too. What the Romans did was they conquered everyone and took their gods because they're like, well, what if we're wrong?
Yeah.
we don't want the
Yeah.
real gods,
There's
whoever
a-
they are, to fucking
The-
destroy us.
Christians
There's
even
a-
did this too. That's why I think this is what I get from the Jehovah's Witnesses, why they don't celebrate birthdays and Christmas and Easter and stuff, because technically they're paganist holidays
Yeah.
tied into.
Did you know that early Christian art used Roman polytheistic imagery
Yes.
to disguise it as
That makes sense.
non-Christian art?
Yeah, because you'd be killed on the spot.
I want to go back to that Roman thing because there's a super interesting story about when Caesar was taking over Britannia, how the Celts there and like the ancient British that were living there, when they got to the beaches, just like hundreds of them went onto the beach and just killed themselves on the beach.
Yeah.
And the Roman soldiers were so terrified of just mass like suicide happening in front of them that they turned around and left.
That's not the first time that happened to the Romans. I think is when they tried to attack the Scots. The Scots just came onto the battlefield fully naked and painted.
Yeah.
And then the Romans were like, no.
no.
There are a few cases like that.
We
Where,
don't mess with the gay.
yeah.
Wait,
well,
no,
they
the
did, though.
Scots. Yeah, no, they would get
definitely-
naked, and I'm pretty sure they would eat mushrooms. Actually,
Magic mushrooms?
yeah, that was.
Did
the
those
thing.
exist in?
Mario.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, dude,
They
Scotland
exist.
is like rainy green all the
that's-
time.
Well, it's a
It's
good
a
thing they
fucking
didn't. I
breeding
don't know
ground
if
for
they
those.
went up against the Irish, but if they did, the Irish invented Super Saiyans.
What?
Yeah, you know how the Super Saiyans their hair sticks all up like that.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's a legend in Ireland called the Legend of Cuchulainn. And when Cuchulainn went in his like berserk, I'm pissed off mode, his hair was described to stand up and be so sharp that if an apple fell on his head, his hair would pierce it.
That's so sick.
That's
dude,
really funny.
Because America's so new, except for like American Indian or Native American stories, which I'm actually taking a class about next semester, which I'm actually kind of excited for. But Americans don't have any interesting folklore. Like it's just Johnny Appleseed.
Paul Bunyan.
Yeah. We got some interesting ones from like the railroad sort
Sleepy
of era.
Hollow.
Is that American?
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow.
That's in Illinois, actually.
Really?
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow's in Illinois.
I don't know. It's just there's so many more like
Well, there are many more classical, recognizable ones because every other country on the earth is so much fucking older than us.
When you mean
Yeah.
folklore, do you mean just like people, like real people, or do you mean like the cryptids and shit like that?
There's also the black guy who built the railroad. I forgot his name, but he like built the railroad so good that he died.
Dude, I was
working so
I was
hard.
listening to a
yeah.
podcast where they actually talk about that. And then they couldn't remember his name, but I feel like his name was Thomas something.
Yeah, it was like Tom.
Tom Henry?
Yeah,
That might be it.
yeah. I think that
Or
is
was it John Henry?
Oh crap.
It was something Henry, I believe.
I don't know.
Well, someone look it up. God damn. We got phones. Shit.
It might be John Henry and Tom Henry.
I think it's because there's a song with it. It's like John Henry was a fighting man.
Yeah, and then he went against the machine, and then he actually beat the machine, but then he died.
the mountain, and then his heart exploded because he was.
He's too much of a
His name
fucking
was John
Chad.
Henry.
Yeah.
John
Henry.
Henry.
There you go.
God damn. Bless up John Henry.
Yeah,
God.
seriously, bless up John Henry.
Have you guys?
I know there's a good amount in 3rd or 4th grade. We sat down and watched a collection of American folklore.
Like, they didn't teach us shit about American
When
folklore.
you say
in third grade.
folklore, though, are you including like the made up shit, like the cryptids, like the Wendigos.
Folklore is
and-
made up.
That's
shit.
that's what I like more is the
Yeah.
made up stuff with like all the really interesting motifs and stuff like that.
The
There's a shit ton.
Wendigos and like the Jersey Devil. That's all American shit. That
I'm pretty sure Wendigo's Australian, bro.
No, Wendigos is Native American.
Wendigo's Native American.
Well, again, I removed Native American is like it's
Dane's talking about recently formed, like 1776 American
Well,
colonies.
he's saying like there's no King Arthur of America.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
There's
we get
yeah.
Johnny Appleseed and
We have
Paul
like
Bunyan was kind of
we have like what's the colony that disappeared again?
Roanoke.
Roanoke.
Roanoke,
Yeah.
but we
But that's
figured
not
that
really
out.
a thing. It's like
I've been to Roanoke.
That was
It's-
pre-America.
that was a mystery. That's not a epic.
Right.
Like it's not the Odyssey. It's not again King Arthur.
don't know. I think-
it's not. What's his name? Siegfried of the Netherlands.
I think that creepy shit's more interesting.
The creepy shit is more interesting, but we're saying
That's
though,
not what
is,
he's talking about.
Yeah.
we don't have a Julius Caesar of America.
Oh, okay.
We don't have.
Yeah.
That's the
fucking-
closest thing we have is like a George Washington.
That would be one of the closest things we
Thing is,
have.
Yeah.
I feel like what it also comes down to is we have a lot of short stories. We
Yeah.
have a lot of short stories, but no like Israel said, we don't have any Odysseys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, down the line, we probably was Edgar Allan. He was American, wasn't he?
Well, I wouldn't count anything Edgar Allan Poe wrote as.
Well, I guess that's well. What about
No, because H.P. Lovecraft wasn't folklore either. That was just horror writing.
yeah. Well, it could eventually.
Because there's
That's the thing.
there's a certain style to it, you know.
Yeah.
Like with King Arthur, like he's a made up person based off of two real people.
Yeah.
But if you look at what we have in America, you know, we have like, we invented superheroes like Spider-Man. You can't look at Spider-Man and say it's the same as King Arthur because even though they're both fictional heroes, they're just so different.
Yeah, and the thing with like H.P. Lovecraft is H.P. Lovecraft was in the last couple hundred years,
Yeah.
so it was very obviously fiction. With shit like the Odyssey, them like thousands of years ago, like with Socrates and Alcibiades and shit like that, talking about the gods, monsters, and all that shit. It came to a point where they actually believed all that. No one's gonna believe that H.P. Lovecraft's books.
Even
are
in
fucking
ancient
true.
Egypt, in like records of ancient Egypt, they state that the figures that they draw, like the eagle people, that they were real, that they saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
So
it Ra
it's-
was the eagle?
The further back you go into history, before the medieval ages and even a little bit before that, there's this air of mystery and wonder that just wasn't around when America was made.
Yeah.
So the stories created about that to guide our morals, like the Legend of King Arthur, like the Odyssey, just can't be made in the same fashion.
Yeah.
Because there is no mystery. There is no.
Yeah, we write down too much history to have.
Well,
There are no like river Styx to cross in America. But
Yeah.
to Greeks, it was like the river Styx. That shit's scary as fuck.
We're
Yeah.
so ingrained in science now that like the mysticism
Yeah.
of the world is kind of gone.
America
That's
was
why
created-
all of our fictional heroes that aren't like modern media heroes, like Spider-Man, they're all laborers.
What
Like
about
Johnny Appleseed
Yeah.
is a laborer. John Henry is a laborer.
Yeah, and-
Laborer. They're all laborers. They're all getting stuff done because we were all about moving west and working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America came up on being a laborer, moving your own fucking homestead, managing your own cattle, your own crops, all that shit, creating shit, building building buildings, building railroads. That's what we came up on. Countries like Egypt, Greece, and all that, they didn't come up on that. They came up on eras of kings, rulers,
you got like
emperors.
the 0.1% and then everybody else?
And they also
yeah.
had all of these like gods and shit.
Yeah, all this God, all this mysticism and lore, fucking like Scandinavia during the 400s with all their gods and shit. Like they came up with these pantheons.
I'm pretty sure I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure like the oldest known text that we found was on a tablet, and it was from like ancient Samaria.
Is that the Rosetta Stone?
I think the oldest text we have is
Aren't they
the,
the Dead Sea
Legend of
Scrolls?
Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
The oldest story
Yeah.
we have, at least.
And
is
it-
the
Oldest
ancient-
story.
It talks about like monsters all over the earth.
Well, the
and
Legend
shit.
of Gilgamesh is pretty awesome. He, took all the treasure in the world. He, befriended a human, or not human, but it's like the gods made a clay weapon
Yeah.
to defeat him, and he befriended the weapon because they were so evenly matched that they couldn't defeat each other. So they just became friends and killed the bowl of heaven together.
That's such an epic story.
And
What the
then
fuck?
Where's this from?
it's from what's the word? Ancient Babylonia. What's the region called?
Oh, is that like
That's like
northern Africa,
no.
Yeah,
That's in the Middle East.
It's northern Africa, Middle East kind of area.
like kind of where Egypt kind of meets over into.
Yeah, we have a
part?
name for it. Why am I blanking on it so hard? It doesn't matter. But
the Fertile Valley.
no.
Okay.
But the legend of Gilgamesh is also kind of comedic too, because Gilgamesh is looking for immortality, and he gets a snake that can give him. He gets something that can give him immortality, and then I think a snake eats it while he's like bathing. So then there's just an immortal snake
There's
somewhere.
just an immortal snake
Yeah.
somewhere, according to the story.
And then
That's awesome. That's horrifying.
I think the city he was the king of is Uruk, something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that's our oldest recorded text or oldest history,
My little brother did
oldest story. Sorry.
a really big like year-long. Did I say older, younger? One of my brothers did a year-long report about the ancient people who used to live where India is now. I've never asked him about it, but it's like, who did live there? You know, like that's kind of crazy to think about.
Hinduism, I'm pretty sure, is older than
It is.
Judaism.
Yeah.
Hinduism is the oldest religion.
The word is Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that's why I think it was a Mesopotamia Valley people or something. I can't remember.
The Indus River Valley.
This river.
Yes, that's what my little brother did.
That's
it on,
that's
so I could
ancient
ask him.
Samaria. That's like, because Babylon was not. It's not a proven city that was.
Yeah, it is.
Do we have architectural like?
Yeah, Babylon is proven. It's just a fucking.
Babylon's
ruins. It's
even
super
in the
long ago.
Bible.
Yeah, it's in the Bible,
Yeah.
but I didn't know we had like
I think you can go there today. I think there's still a Babylon.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we had like what's it called, archaeological record.
Yeah.
of Babylon.
Yeah, we do.
Theological.
But speaking like on this topic, if you guys could go to any point in recorded history, as far back as you could, as we've actually written down, where like how far back would you guys go? Because
I would probably
I would go back before the Library of Alexandria was burned.
Yeah.
I'd visit that.
I would probably go to when there's an era in Roman history called the era of the four great emperors, and it's like it's noted as like one of the best times to be alive in probably the world.
Yeah.
They were giving out free bread to people all over the Roman Empire. Like
Oh, bro, fuck yeah, bread.
Bread
well,
is so dope.
they were giving free food to people who needed
Bread is
it.
like the first food invented.
Interesting fact, every single culture in the entire world has some form of pancake. Like maybe pancake, naan, pita.
I want to go back there to the question though.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Where you guys would go.
So I was actually thinking about this the other day in my art class because we were studying Roman and Christian history for the sake of art. And I was thinking about the Roman era, and because it's really interesting. You know, they had concrete. They invented concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after the Roman Empire collapsed, everyone forgot how to make concrete.
Yeah.
And we
They
had
got
to
a lot of
refigure it out. So definitely that's interesting. Another thing that would interest me is the Revolutionary War. I really like the vibe or like the aesthetic of the Revolutionary War. I love the outfits, all that shit.
Yeah.
I love the retarded flags that we had.
Yeah.
We have, I forget what this one's called. I think it's called like the Guilford flag or something, but it just looks so goofy. It's like a third grader drew the American flag from memory. It looks so goofy.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
And then I think my actual real answer though, I'd have to go save Franz Ferdinand from being shot.
Dang.
Fair.
That'd
I would
probably
change all of history.
I'm aware of it.
all of modern history, yeah.
What about you guys though, Nate, Ty?
I wouldn't
I
wouldn't
said what I was gonna.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I wouldn't go too far back personally. I'd go at a time of like, have you guys ever seen the movie Midnight in Paris?
A
Awesome.
little bit of it.
It's like it's one of Owen Wilson's like best movies. Like it's such an awesome movie. It's literally just about this dude played by Owen Wilson who kind of hates his fiance but can't like bring himself to like realize he actually hates her yet. But he just kind of always has these daydreams, and his daydreams start turning into like a reality when he's in Paris. And then each time at midnight, he's like a car pulls up and he hops in, and then he just kind of time travels into 1920s Paris. I'd want something like that, I guess, but I'm not sure where.
20s America would be cool too.
Yeah, that would,
Yeah. The 20s were actually
Pre-depression America.
was
Cool.
pretty awesome.
that's like the first boom of the economy with like all this new shit coming out, like washing machines and
Yeah, because you had after every war technically has some sort of post-war economic miracle because they're like, wow, we invented a lot of stuff. Let's make this commercialized, and then we get a lot of cool stuff out.
yeah,
of
that's like the first time people started buying their own cars, and
it. Yeah,
and then it all kind of went to shit.
Yeah.
yeah. And then we all got really,
just
really poor.
Remembered another cool point in Roman history that you could travel back to is I forget the emperor, but eventually an emperor after the Christian deal happened.
Yeah.
He said all religions will be tolerated in the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Which, is pretty progressive for anything past the last 100 or so years.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely.
But I think it'd be really interesting to go back to that point where he says all religions will be tolerated here and bring them into contact with other religions that they haven't encountered yet.
Yeah.
Like ancient Japanese religion or the Buddha, or even a religion that didn't exist yet, like Protestantism or
Yeah.
Mormonism.
Thing is, the Romans had already spoken to a lot of different religions, though, because how far they'd spanned out. And how
They didn't
Yeah.
get that far, though. The furthest they got was probably contact with India, but
They
I don't
had
think-
contact with China.
They had very, very, very little contact with China.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They only knew about like the trade between like the Silk Road.
And even if they
Right.
did have contact with everyone in the old world, there's still all the crazy religions that were going around in North America and South America at that time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
we
they're
didn't.
definitely
They didn't
kind
even
of-
know existed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. They did have for given like the amount of places you could travel though in that time, which was practically fucking nothing.
Yeah.
They had
Right.
reached pretty far because they had reached into parts of northern Africa. They had reached pretty much their entire hand towards the Middle East, gone up towards, the British Isles, towards northern Europe near Scandinavia. They had contact.
They did not reach Scandinavia.
Yeah,
They didn't go
They
to
did-
Scandinavia.
they
They did
did-
have letters that went in between them.
They
I've
knew
actually-
it was
yeah.
there, basically.
I've seen some of the Roman ruins in Wales. It's kind of crazy. Like it's just it was.
But I'm saying, like, just because, they would never, ever, there's no Roman who would ever learn about a South American religion. So I'm saying you take, like, a
Right.
big book of religions that we know all of them, right? And then we go back in time to the Romans and say, well, what do you think about this shit, bro?
Yeah.
yeah.
That same emperor that you're talking about, he gave citizenship to the entire Roman Empire, actually. So everyone was considered a Roman during his rule, which is like the first form of like globalization of like the world, basically. But it didn't last very long.
No.
No, it wasn't that long at all.
That's That's the problem with monarchies.
Did you know they had
Things continue.
passports?
Yes,
hella
they did.
far back.
Yeah.
Really?
That blows my mind. I was in.
That means you're traveling a lot.
I went to the Reagan Museum, and for some reason they had a Genghis Khan museum inside the Reagan Museum. Really weird. But when you go into the Genghis Khan Museum, they're like, check out this Mongolian passport. And it's just a rock with carvings in it. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They had the concept of passports back then.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure, like, actually, never mind.
The oldest stuff that I've ever seen was actually I went to the Getty.
Yeah.
It was the Getty Villa, and they had a special bit. I think it was from ancient Iran or ancient Iraq, and it was from like 2000 BC, as old as the pyramids of Giza, which I think a crazy fact is the Roman Empire to us is as old as the Roman Empire is to us is how old the pyramids of Giza were to the Roman Empire.
Dude, some people think that the pyramids are like 10,000 years even older.
Well, they took hundreds of years to build, and they built like what? There's how many pyramids of Giza?
3.
Yeah, there's 3.
them.
There's only 3. I thought there was like 6.
There's a lot of pyramids, but the pyramids of Giza are like,
They're the biggest
The
ones.
one.
the ones.
When the Ottomans took over like that whole area, they tried taking down the pyramids because they're like, oh, these are symbols of like.
Imagine being that stupid.
Yeah, and
The Ottomans
you can
did that a
see
lot.
where they tried like taking it apart, and then they just gave up because it took too long.
Yeah, I'm at
Like
like
so fucking much of it. How are they gonna take
even
it all
with
down?
dynamite. Think of like
Yeah, and it's easier to destroy than it is to build.
It's harder to destroy. I mean,
No.
No, it's easier to destroy.
He's saying
they didn't
it's
destroy-
funny that they gave up when it's easier to destroy it than to
Yeah.
build.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, the squeaking is fucking killing me. That's why I'm not talking.
Lube it.
Move it.
What I think is really
Spit
interesting
in.
though is how much has been lost to the, like in South America, to the Amazonian jungles.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
might,
All the fucking temples, all the monuments and shrines that have just been buried by shrubbery over the past 10, 15,000 years.
that's one of like the last like places we need to explore.
Not
fully.
true. The Congo.
The Congo and the ocean.
Yeah.
Congo's
And New Guinea, actually. There's a lot of parts of like New Guinea.
There are a lot
and,
of places just deep in tribal Africa that haven't been explored like at all.
Yeah.
But that also, with that, like being able to explore old ruins of, forgotten civilizations, some that we may not even know about, also kind of brings the fear that fucking, COVID this year is pretty bad, but I'm thinking there's probably some extinction level disease hidden away in one of those fucking rainforests or jungles.
Did you see a long time ago? I think they uncovered some Egyptian cheese, like ancient Egyptian cheese.
What?
And someone was like, taste test it. And someone said that would probably kill the entire planet with how bad that shit is.
Yeah.
Because it was just so rotted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking because there's so much of the rainforest you just can't go through without getting fucked up. I can guarantee you, under one fucking rock or tree stump in one of those rainforests in Africa or South America, there is some planet destruction level disease just sitting there waiting to be picked up and brought back.
Well, that's what they think about like all the ice melting because of climate change. Is like
There's a ton of shit hidden away.
Yeah, there's like a bacteria. Or
Well, the
something
scariest thing about the ice melting is actually there's a ton of nitrogen and CO2 trapped inside of the ice.
Base.
So that's what the runaway greenhouse effect is more CO2 is released into the air, and CO2 is an insulator, so it traps in more heat, which melts more ice, which then releases more CO2, and then we end up like Venus.
I've been reading about this in my geology class, and global warming is a thing, but so is global cooling, which is why we call it climate change now.
Yeah.
But apparently, the hotter areas are going to get hotter, and the colder areas are just going to get colder.
Yeah, you're gonna have more
More
extremes.
polarization.
Yeah, but
But I think
where
that-
we gonna have arable land and stuff.
In the ice, where I want to live. But I
Move to
think
Yukon.
climate change is obviously real, and if you don't think it's real, you're kind of a big dummy because we have evidence that 2 ice ages happened.
Yeah.
So to deny that climate change isn't real is to deny 2 ice ages.
Deny reality.
And that would also imply denying that people walked from the ice bridge from North Asia into North America.
Or even just Japan.
So-
like even just
Right.
across there.
So I definitely think climate change is happening, but I don't think it's as big a deal or as like terrible a deal as everyone makes it out to be, because the Earth has been changing its climate since before we even got here.
Yeah,
I think the problem is that people like the main issue that people have is that human beings are exacerbating the problem, and they're speeding up the process of climate change.
That's
Yeah.
actually the debate. That's
Yeah,
not proven, I don't think.
It's not proven, but
you look at charts and it's like, oh wow, like
Because
there's
it
definitely
really
an
started
effect,
ramping
but-
up before we even industrialized.
the fear though is that we're going to speed it up to the point where we are not going to be able to adapt quickly enough to it, and then
Have you seen the movie Jurassic Park?
yeah,
You know the quote, "Life finds a way"?
yeah, life finds a way, but
You don't
is
want
life going to be more miserable now than
Yeah.
it was like
The
50
whole
years
thing is
ago?
life will find a way, but you don't want to push it to the point where you're the one having to find that way.
I do. I hate nature. I think it's dumb.
Israel, you're a special case.
Israel's just a nihilist in denial.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. I'm not a person who likes to label myself and give myself pigeonholes. One of the few things I would label myself as is an environmentalist. But like, I don't know, I'm thinking it more of like, instead of being like, we have to save this one specific tree, it's more of a way, in a sense, of it's like, you know, I'm not all about making money. Like,
I'm
There's
an
gotta be a give and a
environmentalist,
take.
which is why I hate China so much.
we could already make a compilation of all the times that, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because China is
They are the number one
China's
polluter in the
terrible.
world.
Oh yeah.
They are literally evil, and no one cares.
The Chinese government is the worst government.
I
on
think
earth.
people care. They just can't do anything about it.
No, we can. We're just too afraid to do anything about it. Last
What
time,
the fuck
no,
can
shut
we
the
do?
fuck up. Shut
What the fuck can we
up.
do?
Have you ever
Explain
heard
it-
about?
okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it right
Yeah,
now.
explain to me.
Have you ever heard
Explain to
about
me.
the Cold fucking War, bro?
Yes.
Yeah, the last time we had it. Oh my God, they're so scary. We don't want to start a war with them. We teamed up with half the fucking planet until they starved themselves into becoming one of us. That's all we have to do. China relies on every other country in the world because they are export oriented. You know what we used to do in the
But
medieval
they're not.
age? No,
they're not
shut
going
the
to be
fuck
export.
up.
They are not going to be export oriented anymore. Their economy is changing to be like the American economy, where it's consumer based economy.
Oh, so it's import. They're going to change to import. And who are they going to import from? Fucking no one.
No.
Because they are the export capital of the world. As soon as we get a coalition together and say, everyone stop buying shit from China, China will plummet and they will be forced to change.
It's not true. 'Cause
It is true.
Once China becomes a consumer-based economy, some other country will fill that gap.
Who?
Have you looked at Eastern Asia? Most things that you get.
You mean
now-
China?
I mean, not East, I meant Southeast Asia, like Laos, Vietnam,
Sri Lanka.
Those countries now, if you look at all the clothing that comes into Dana and I's work is from Vietnam,
Sri Lanka.
yeah, Sri Lanka,
It's actually
or
pretty
India.
funny. Well, not. It's pretty messy. I want to just take a side in this story. Back when I first started working at my work, some guy comes in. He says to my coworker, he says, "Where are these shirts made from?" And the coworker says, "I don't know. It says on the inside right here. It says, oh, this one was made in Sri Lanka." The guy says, "I'm not gonna buy some shirt from some Oriental," and walks out.
Wow.
And that's the most racist thing I've ever seen in my work. That's the most blatantly racist thing. It's fun to look back and be like, wow, how can somebody be that openly racist? But
Because they just don't give a shit.
yeah,
People will always be openly racist. That'll never change.
Yeah, that will never.
I'm
Yeah.
with Israel on this though when it comes to China, because China has, besides Southeast Asia, like Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and whatnot, they don't have any fucking allies they can rely on. They have Russia, who has a crumbling economy. Their dollar is worth like
Are you saying
0.005%.
China's allies?
Yeah, China's allies.
Okay.
yeah. Russia has no effect.
Their
on the global
allies
economy
are
except for
Russia.
just
Their
scare
economy
tactics.
is in fucking shambles, and it was in fucking shit shape ever since the 90s. But even more so since the annexation of Crimea during 2014, when we put tariffs and fucking
Yeah.
trade bans on them. Their economy fucking nearly collapsed again.
Here's the thing though, is China has such a strong hold on Southeast Asia because those economies rely on China so much to be successful, that China has so much they have so much power, soft power on those countries that they can dictate how.
Which is why we need to take care of China now, so they don't get that
Yeah.
same ball grip on every other country.
Here's
in the
the
world.
thing: no empire.
But they're not going to. 'Cause
No.
their economy's hatching.
Please, let me speak. No empire has ever survived really more than 200 years as being the number one.
Yep.
Even like Rome was like, the big deal for 200 years and then fell, and everybody's like, Italy, I like pizza. Spaghetti's good, which isn't even from Italy.
That's besides the point though.
But here's the thing is like, China is the big
Right.
deal right
But
now.
the thing
America's the big deal right now.
America is the big deal, and it has been for almost 70 years now,
Probably
coming
since
on
World War
80.
II.
Yeah,
70,
end of World
80
War
years.
II.
That means that if what you're saying is correct, we are reaching our mid game,
Mm-hmm.
and who's coming after us? The Chinese. That's why we need to do something about the
I
Chinese
see.
while we're still on top. I don't care about America being number one. I care about China being number one because they are actually evil
agree.
and they pollute the earth and they do almost everything evil in this world is part of their fault, and no one's doing anything.
And the whole thing with collapsing China can be far easier than you're thinking it is.
But
We could even, I know I said we didn't have to do it militarily, but we could. The Chinese military is like a kid in a sandbox.
But what's stopping them from pulling the same shit Russia did during the Cold War, being like, if you invade us, we
Right,
will.
that's why I said we don't need to do warfare.
Yeah. We
don't
because
need warfare.
The last time that happened, we chokeslammed Russia into becoming capitalist.
Yeah.
Problem is, Ty, what happens when all the countries that China has a soft power over, what happens when they stop getting exports, and imports for those countries? They can't put their market towards anywhere else because they only export their goods from items that are coming from factories from Europe and America. when they're stopping their other fucking exports of the shirts they make and all that shit.
Like China's exports.
Yeah, China's exports and the soft countries, like the shirts that are made in Laos, Cambodia,
Yeah.
Vietnam. What happens when those markets shut down? They have no more power.
That's the thing, though, is what Israel is saying is that their economy is reliant on exports and such, but their economy is changing right now. It's changing to be just like our economy because they realize that the way our economy works is how you become the greatest country on earth.
Right. The problem is, though, is there is so much land in China that is not worth a piece of dog shit.
Yeah, that's why they haven't
There is so
taken
much
over Mongolia.
That's the reason they completely fucking modernized the coastal cities, is because there's resources there. Interland, they don't touch because there's
It's
nothing.
literally all desert.
Desert and
Mongolian
arid land. There's
desert
nothing
is-
they can get out of there.
The Tibetan Plateau supplies most of the major rivers from China, and it also supports most of the major rivers that flow into India, which is their biggest competitor.
And they shouldn't even have Tibet.
They shouldn't have Tibet.
No.
There was
They can't
actually
even take
recently
over
there was a
Taiwan.
conflict between Indian soldiers and Chinese soldiers.
I know. There's always a conflict between the Indian and
Yeah, I know, because they're all fighting over the Appalachian, or not the Appalachian, the Himalayan mountain range. But that's the thing too, is a lot of those countries that are below China have rivers that flow from China into like Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam.
Yeah.
And China's like, we will dam these rivers if you do not listen to us, and your economies and your ways of life will be fucked.
you can make new channels.
I can guarantee you, if China pulled shit like that, the international community would be on India's side.
I
instantly.
agree. I agree.
Which is why it'd be super easy to fuck them over, because like we were saying before, their economy is switching to be like ours, but they can only modernize the coastal cities.
And the
because
thing is,
everything inland
we need
isn't
to
working.
knock the peg out of underneath China before they get to that point.
I don't think any side
already
is
getting to that.
for
It's too
China.
late.
No, you're saying they're getting to that point. You have not once said that they are at that point, which is why
They're
we need to do something now.
They are literally almost at that point.
I don't think
It's inevitable.
Isn't their GDP technically bigger than ours?
Yeah, no, they've already surpassed us economically.
because they're export focused.
Yeah. They're
Yeah, but once they switch to a
another thing is
Then
you technically
Stop the exports before they get there.
they have no
too late.
cultural. They really have no cultural influence over our mass media, except for maybe
true.
movies. Movies is really the only thing. You know, Transformers is starting to pander.
I think
That's
it
a really good
ascends.
point,
I think it
actually.
ascends beyond movies actually, because so many companies. It's because it's video games and sports too, because all of our media is popular in more than just America.
Yeah.
And with the stupid. This is part of the reason why I hate China. Also, is that companies that are based in foreign nations like the United States and Japan, China still says, "Fuck you, bend the knee to me, or we're gonna get pissed off."
Yeah, that's what
And
happened.
everyone fucking bends the knee, and I'm sick of seeing it.
That's what happened with the Mulan movie. They had
That's what happened to Blizzard. That's what happened to the NBA.
Yeah.
That's what happened to so much shit, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
China has.
All those anti-Hong Kong people.
Yeah.
We literally founded this nation on the idea of freedom and anti-tyranny. And I know I'm an authoritarian bootlicker. I know that. But I still think China takes it too far.
Yeah.
And we just let them get away with the evil. We are letting them influence us. And it's disgusting.
China's done a fucking fantastic job of making themselves much scarier than they actually are.
It's true.
They have
I mean-
done such a great job of convincing everyone that they are. No doubt they are a global. They're a global power.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But they have hyped up their ability, their capabilities so much that everyone now believes that they are capable of collapsing a country in one day, be it through economics or through military means, and they can't.
Oh, they can't do it militarily. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even if China does become like the most the most successful economy or military, which I doubt they'll be militarily, America will always have the cultural aspect of the world because we have so much freedom here to express things that like the culture of America is seen all throughout the world, and that's not going away.
Right. But I don't want foreign cultures to influence ours to the point
I
where
don't
they're
think
saying
that's necessarily
your
a bad
movies
thing,
can't
though.
be like that.
Yeah.
Your sports team can't say that.
Well, he's not saying that.
Well,
China's
America
culture
does the same
creeping
thing.
Isn't bad enough. What he's saying,
And I don't
though,
think we should do it either.
is that shit like
Yeah.
you cannot say this certain thing about these protesters. You cannot voice these opinions about our nation. That's what he's afraid of.
In America, actually, that stupid trash little garbage piece of man Harvey Weinstein was part of the reason that the Ghibli movies came to the U.S. because the Weinstein production company is huge. They're one of the most influential production companies in Hollywood. I don't know if they still are. I don't think anybody really wants to work with them.
They probably need
Anymore.
to rebrand.
Seriously. But they're one of the reasons the Ghibli movies came to the United States. And I think they told Miyazaki, Princess Mononoke is a great movie, but you need to cut it down. American audiences aren't going to want to watch this. And Miyazaki was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And they still did it. And now it's like a cult classic. Like, you know, just don't.
Well,
the producers, I hate producers because you have producers being like, you have the most uncreative people in the entire world with all the money being like, hey, do this. And the creative people are like, that is a ridiculously poor idea. Sometimes it works out. That happened with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where the original idea was they were going to be struggling actors in LA. And then the producers said, there's so many dumb show ideas about that. Do it in Philadelphia where it's cheaper and the Philadelphian government will pay you to be there and make it about a bar. And they're like, okay, fine.
Now it's like one of the most successful TV shows.
Yeah,
coming
sometimes
soon
it
or
works
whatever.
out. But then, you know, you have like these influences from producers in China being like, I'd really like this movie to be successful in China, but Big Brother is watching, you know, kind of thing.
And my big problem is that the Chinese system brings so much pollution, it brings so much censorship, and so many people are suffering, but they think that they're living in their prime. They think they're living the best life because that's what the Chinese government is telling them. And I don't want the Chinese government to succeed, because if the Chinese government succeeds, other countries are going to look towards it and say, that's good. We're going to do the exact same thing. And I don't want that to reach America, because the thing is that if that keeps happening and it keeps rolling over into other nations, eventually some shithead politician who doesn't care about you is going to sit there and tell you that the Chinese system is good and that we need it in America. And I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like people in America are too like, because like in China, like gay rights and religious rights, freedom of speech, those are ingrained in America and have become so popular with groups here that I don't think that they look at, like, even people on the left or the right look at China and are like, oh yeah, that's a model we should represent.
That's not entirely true. There are left-wing authoritarians in America who like the Chinese model, and there are a very small amount of them, but they are there.
Yeah,
and it only takes one charismatic person to convince other people. I mean, Hitler is the exact same thing. Mao Zedong is the exact same thing. It was one person who stepped forward and said, this is why communism, fascism is good. And a lot of people say, that is pretty epic. And then they take over countries. So I don't care that it's a small amount. I want it to be zero.
I don't think that's possible though.
Yeah, it's not possible, but you can get it to a nebula.
Because how many fascist countries are there right now?
There's like one, right?
There is military Myanmar, and it's technically not fascist, it's just ultra-nationalist.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different, but I can see why you would say that.
Yeah.
As soon as we kill communism, like we killed fascism, it's going to be like the exact same thing.
Just extremist ideologies are it's just not beneficial really to anybody in the end, because then one crazy person ends up in power. Because it's so easy, if you kind of group everybody, just be like, whoop, you just kind of get them all tight. You know, one person's going to shoot out and be like, I am God.
Do you think,
and then, you know,
this is going to be a little political?
That's fine.
We were already pretty
But
political.
do you think like Trump, like just the way he runs his politics is spurring a new wave of like ultra-right nationalism, like
I don't think
fascism?
so. I think the problem is that people paint Trump as doing that, when the reality is that's just how right wing's been, brother.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that's a good thing.
It's that.
Well, the thing is, it's how right wings have been. It's just the headpiece of it is a bumbling idiot who might be racist.
But you agree?
thing is
wait,
that-
can I just say one thing?
yeah,
you would
go ahead.
agree that the farthest right you can go is fascism, right?
No.
What's the farthest right?
The farthest right you could go
is like a monarchy.
No, because monarchy is probably middle right. Middle right, high authoritarian, whereas fascism is little right, higher authoritarian.
It's literally it's right in the middle, straight up.
I'm pretty sure Mussolini is even more to the left, and he invented fascism. So
because he technically
but what's
created.
what's the farthest right?
the
though?
farthest right, I would say, is probably a caliphate or
Yeah.
an ancient empire.
Yeah.
Where it's strong religious based and you are nothing. I own you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take Sharia law for example. Sharia law is a perfect
Okay.
example of as far right as you can get.
And I don't like that either.
Yeah, but those are far and few between
Yeah.
at this point.
I will say that the far right has been far more vocal these last few years, but that's also because our president has just been so ambiguously retarded, so incoherent to the fact where his words can be misconstrued by groups.
I think the thing is,
But, like-
is that the reason that the right wing is being painted as more and more extreme every time is because, I know I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist idiot, but it's like the media wants to make the news interesting.
Yeah.
So when they're talking about right wing, it's like, okay, we got to make it look
Oh,
interesting.
Look.
They gotta be. There's got to be something that because people are more engaged when they're angry. So it's like we got to make people angry so they'll want to read this news.
so I'm actually in the program at Cuesta where it's like something like 80% of the people who work at KSBY, the news thing, go from Cuesta to KSBY rather than Cal Poly, which, is the actual university near us, which is kind of crazy. So I'm in the program where they hop directly to it. So I know a little bit about this. And our teacher said, the more you realize that news isn't news, it's entertainment,
Exactly.
the more it makes sense.
yeah, 100%.
So it creates a visual of a circle jerk for everyone that isn't really happening.
That's what I try to explain.
The reason why people say, oh, mass shootings are crazy, they're happening all the time, right? Is because they're reported on the news a lot. But things are only supposed to be reported on the news because they're rare. So it kind of creates this weird feeling,
Yeah.
So when you were talking about like smaller groups within America that like if China were to influence them, wouldn't you agree that ultra right nationalist groups like neo-Nazis or Proud Boys or whatever, white supremacists, they follow a fascistic like line? Because fascism isn't necessarily a government, it's more of an ideology.
I'm aware of this.
The thing is, they follow a different system of fascism than China does, though.
Well, what are we doing?
They're fighting a
moth.
moth on the fucking ceiling.
Sir, can you repeat the question? I stopped listening to you because they were doing the thing.
I would sorry.
Fascism.
Yes,
Thank you.
Basically about fascism, how there are groups in this country that follow an ideology that is maybe not fascism, but is extremely similar to fascism. And those are small groups that, like you said, could have one single voice, like a Donald Trump, that exacerbates the problem and makes these groups more powerful than they already are.
Are you asking me what I think we should do about that?
I'm saying, do you agree with that? And if
Do I agree that that's happening?
Yeah.
I think it's they're giving a voice to these people who wouldn't otherwise have a voice.
I just don't really think so. I think
I don't think having a
right
voice
wings-
equals power,
'cause
though.
The thing is that
Well, yeah, to an
the,
extent, but it's like a vapid power.
the modern depiction of the hard right, these fascists, neo-Nazis, whatever, they've always been there.
Yeah.
They're always a small group, and I get what you're saying. You don't want them to speak out, or you don't want like a speaker to come out and then convince more people to be like that,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we have already, like, we ingrain into children every day that fascism is evil. So it's really hard to get someone to convert to fascism, first of all.
Okay, I would agree with that.
It's like trying to convince someone who goes to church every Saturday or whatever that God isn't real. It's like that's like a whole different world for them.
Yeah.
It's really hard to convince someone
Tying back to the Amish thing,
Right.
Even you give them like
a whole year
to
to convince them that this world's better, and most of the time they still say no.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard. So when you look at neo-Nazi cases, oftentimes they are pushed into being a neo-Nazi. I'm not saying it's other people's fault that they're a neo-Nazi, but it's like a series of circumstances that gets them to that position. And you can often even see that a lot of neo-Nazis are converted back into functioning human beings.
Yeah, I was gonna note that actually.
And, I'm not saying that neo-Nazis and whatever are okay. I just think that they've always been there. And then Trump, who comes out and he says, poor people are dumb. We should stop being poor or whatever. and right wingers are like, "Amen, brother." They've just been there.
Yeah.
And then the ultra right ring, they're the neo Nazis, whatever. The media is like, people want to tack that on and say that it's growing because of Trump, but it's like it's just always been there.
Yeah.
I also will say, when it comes to the difference between a neo-Nazi, far right fascist, what have you, and someone who's on the same right spectrum as a political leader in China, the difference between the two is that the Chinese form that like Israel is worried about, the small groups of in America, is that they're more socially flexible and are able to kind of finagle their way into morality with
yeah.
True.
how
They
socially
present
acceptable
themselves
things can
as
be.
moral. And you see it all the time.
Yeah,
Every fucking day.
see, the difference between those two is that, like Israel said, from day one, kids are ingrained in this country that neo-Nazis, fascists are fucking disgusting and you should never be one. It's ingrained in children from day one. As where when it comes to someone like a Chinese realm of far right, it's not though. We're not ingraining children to be like them, but that since the Chinese way of right fascism is more socially flexible and more, morally
Are
ambiguous,
the Chinese fascists?
They do implement fascist policy.
they implement a lot of them.
At least definitely authoritarian.
They're able to finagle their way into morality a lot easier than you could with a neo-Nazi. Because someone on the far right who's a neo-Nazi who's going to say, I hate Jews, I hate non-whites. Obviously, those people are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But when it comes to someone like, fucking Xi Jinping, where he goes, I love the citizens of my country, but for the safety of everyone, we need higher social security. We need more cameras. We need more spyware. We need more surveillance just to ensure that people are being safe.
Exactly.
While we're on top of that, while I agree that you need rights, the government also, we need more people for X thing. We need more of this gender, this person, this occupation for X thing.
And
Yeah.
you don't even need to look at China itself to see the authoritarian left actually being influential every day. It's the hard left wing on places like Twitter who are getting people, shut down and making
Yeah.
people lose their
They're
jobs
using censorship.
for having
think I-
the complete opposite political view.
I would probably be more left if I wasn't so influenced by the hard left. Because it's like, I don't want to be associated with that group by any means. I don't want to be associated with the lib left, even though I technically am, but like only by one notch.
Yeah.
I think a good distinction to realize about people on the far left is they want to censor people.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing that
They're so much more authoritarian than they give themselves credit for.
I think both sides of the spectrum are, but they are so highlighted and accepted for it that I just find it insane.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is Twitter is a platform for that style. So we look at Twitter as like, oh, it's the censorship left, but there's also the censorship right. But their platform is more like old people Facebook.
Yeah.
You know. So it's like it's just different platforms that are co-opted by these specific groups.
Yeah. It's funny because they both kind of have similar goals,
Control.
yeah, different ends to means.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and
what.
Different means to ends.
I
like
would
I've
like
always
to-
believed, both sides of the political spectrum want to fuck you.
Oh yeah.
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 There's no level of government that doesn't have corruption. in
Yeah,
it.
but I would like to go back. I did briefly mention that a voice doesn't technically mean power. It does. But the thing is you get something like Twitter where they feel like they have a voice, so they think they have actual power and influence on how things work. They don't.
Twitter's a shitstorm.
Yeah, I have a Twitter and I use it usually just for online friends, just to post and subtweet other friends.
Right. And
like
that's
Nate.
what it should be.
Nate and I just subtweet each other.
That's what it should be. It's like social media should be about like keeping in touch with your friends.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a place where people start political fires against each other.
Right.
Because then you get into circle jerking bullshit like we're in the modern era. And then that's where you create the division. And that's why when, most of the big websites like Reddit and Twitter are owned by, left-wing people, and it's, you have like the left-wing circle jerk and news flows in through those sites. That's why you get the perception that there's an increase in far right-wingism, because to people who sit there and circle jerk themselves, anything slightly right-wing is ultra right-wing.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's
100%.
again, it's the same thing on both sides. It just depends on, what swamp you're wading in.
Yeah. Something that I found was pretty fucking, relevant to this was I was watching, like a couple days ago, I was watching a couple Chris Ray Gun videos.
Okay.
And one of them, he was saying that Twitter. This is like obvious. This is common sense, but he had highlighted it in a certain way that I can't remember exactly. But Twitter brings out the absolute worst of people. You can.
It
you
brings
go,
out the worst
You
in
go
me.
to. You go to Twitter to be the worst version of yourself humanly
I
possible.
agree.
Which can be really funny, but most of the time it's
Well, most of the time it's awful
Yeah.
because Twitter allows you to be the single, like I said, the single worst version of yourself you can humanly be.
It's
'Cause you can
basically
say-
saying I'm so important that I need to
Share with everyone.
I need to have an audience for everything that comes
And
my
the thing is, there are so many people around there who circle jerk each other thinking the exact same way that it ends up becoming this fucking tsunami of just overwhelming bullshit.
That's why I don't use Twitter.
Yeah, I don't use it either. What I find funny too is, despite a lot of people on Twitter not having basically zero fucking power, eventually when they circle jerk each other enough and they speak out enough, they start screeching loud enough, they can eventually start creating some sort of power. It's happened before where a mob of Twitter people will trickle over to another website, email, message the
yeah,
person,
that's
and then
that's cancel culture.
yeah, it's cancel culture 100%.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded.
Like I've always said, I feel like Twitter, you only use Twitter, most people use Twitter either if you're famous or you care about famous people.
Yeah.
Like that's like really all Twitter is.
I follow mostly, it's like half and half for me. I follow like people that not that I look up to, but have influenced me in a way. Like I'm following like George Clanton and Matt Watson on Twitter,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the super mega dudes.
So,
And then the rest are just friends, you know. I stay away from like political leaders or figures or stuff like that. I want to form my own political opinions. I don't, you know.
yeah.
I want to find these people that I want to follow rather than
How does it feel?
they find me.
epic.
Yeah.
So like I've always said, I think this is the end of the podcast.
Yeah.